Welcome to Almost 30, the podcast.
Hello, everybody. It's Lindsay Simsick and my best friend, Krista Williams, coming to you live from
Greetings. How's it going? We're so excited to have you. Spirituality, wellness, personal growth podcast. We've been around for 10 years, OGs in the space. Lindsay is a mama, married, living in Brooklyn. I'm a woman of the world living in Los Angeles, baby.
And her boyfriend's here. Don't get it twisted,
Don't get it
okay?
twisted. I do get boys like me. I have many men in my life. Many men that I love. OGs, we're glad to have you back. It's such a beautiful thing to be a part of your lives and your process and for us to grow along with each other. It's so incredible. It's been such a gift in my life, and I'm so grateful to have you guys here for today. We're having a conversation about numerology. We're going to have a conversation about some esoteric philosophies and principles. We're going to talk a little bit about Kabbalah with Kaitlyn Kaerhart. So I met Kaitlyn Kaerhart through a dear friend, Mark Rose, who was here in town. And she just fascinated me when talking about numerology and talking about astrology and so many different esoteric principles that I had explored but hadn't really dug into. And numerology is really the study of the cosmos through numbers and the belief that our entire universe is built on a system of numbers. So if you're someone that is found interest in signs and symbols and synchronicities, a lot of us have angel numbers that we see like 222, 444, whatever it may be. There's a science behind that, and there's a magic and mysticism behind that. So we talked a lot about numerology and how you can apply it to your life. And then we also talked about your cosmic code, or we also talked about and we also talked about some principles of Kabbalah that she's really loving and working with. And Kabbalah is something I've studied for a few years now. I don't really talk about it much, but it's just a really powerful practice. And I think this conversation got me reignited and excited to look at the world with more play and curiosity as it relates to numbers. Because I think we can see the angel numbers and connect, but there's like a different moment where you're like really understanding how numbers run everything. And one of the really fun things we did was talking about our life path. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how to find your life path number, how to understand your life path number, and all the math with that. I don't want you guys to get too caught up in it because there's some stuff you can do with Chat Daddy to figure that out. But numerology is something I've never explored. We've actually never had a conversation about this on the podcast. And I think with every tool that we bring to the show, it's finding what helps and then leaving the rest. You don't need to get obsessed with it. You don't need to make your life it. But finding what information feels relevant and pertinent to understanding yourself and your soul, and just leaving the rest at the door. So if you are interested in the esoteric and the cosmic and learning and understanding about numerology, this is going to be a super fun conversation. Kaitlyn is so sweet and so good at what she does. She has provided me some really good readings, and it's been really interesting to know her. And I'm excited for you guys to get to know her more.
I'm excited for this one. So we have new episodes every single week, every Tuesday, Thursday. We appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you're subscribed so you get those in your pod inbox every single week. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at Almost 30 Podcast, on TikTok. You can subscribe on YouTube. We are on video, just serving all the fashion to you. And we love you. Enjoy this one, and we'll see you on the other side.
And if you want to connect with Kaitlyn more and learn about her courses and her programs and get a reading, you can go to kaerhart.com. So that's Kaerhart. So that's kaerhart.com. This is my nightmare when I have to spell things. Honestly, the anxiety is through the roof, spelling on public. Thank you, Kaitlyn. We appreciate you so much for coming on the show, for having this really fun conversation. Make sure to send this to a friend. You guys can do all your numerology together. You can look at your house numbers. You can kind of explore what your life path numbers are. It's a great tool to understand yourself more deeply. And we love being a part of your every single day. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Like around 37, you go through a nodal return, which is when like your purpose really gets locked in. And I think that's why from what I know of you when we spoke at dinner, you were kind of like, I'm ready for this next level expansion. I'm ready for like more. I'm ready to elevate. And I forget where your node is in your chart. Is it in the 9th house?
Yes. I don't know that wasn't a lie. I just lied a little bit.
There's so much to talk about, but it is a life-changing transit. And again, it happens around every like 18.6 years.
Does it happen for everybody?
Yeah, everybody around 37. It's kind of like Saturn return, right?
Okay.
Like everyone goes through their Saturn's return. around 28, 29. And then the nodal return happens around 18 and then again at around 37.
The nodal return. And my nodal
Yeah.
return's happening in, because
Wait,
it's,
what? No. Is this? Oh, whoa. Okay, so your north node is in the 7th house.
what does that mean?
Oh my God, I have so much to say, but okay.
Which is Pisces, right?
Yeah, so your node is in Pisces.
Yeah.
So like in your most previous, hi Katie, in your recent past life, you like mastered all Virgo traits,
Yes.
right? And in this lifetime, you got to move from the Virgo to the Pisces.
Yes.
But what's interesting for you is that your north node's in the 7th house, which is interesting because this is the house of marriage. And that was also something that you brought up where you were like, I am ready for that next level partnership.
Yes.
Like that was a lot of what we were talking about, just
Yes.
like dating.
Yes.
And then when I got your chart, I was like, girl, I got to talk to
I
you.
don't know
because
where I was in my dating process when I'm,
we had a talk where we were like, because we're both single ladies now.
Huh?
And you're like, you know what? Like, I need to be attracted to the guy. Like we were,
oh yes,
we were having that
I
conversation.
tried a phase where I was like, you know what? I said, you know what? Looks don't matter that much. I said, you know what? I can go. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
nope. And then I started dating a fine man. And I was like, I need a fine man.
There has to be a vibe. Like
Yeah.
like I've dated guys where like you wouldn't like look twice on the street. They're not like super hot, but there was a vibe. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, this vibe is hot. Like there has to be some je ne sais quoi. There has to
Yes.
be an attraction.
Yes.
But it's interesting because, you know, the North Node transiting your 7th house in general, I always think of as like a partners of like destiny sort of thing. Like when the transiting North Node goes through your 7th house of marriage and contracts and also like business partnerships, it will bring a lot of like fated events in those areas of your life. Now, the fact that your North Node's in the 7th house and you're going to have your nodal return there, like I would say there's something major going on with partnerships for you, whether it's happening now or it's about to happen, but it is a life-changing transit. And it is one of those that usually solidifies you really stepping into a more Pisces role, which is interesting because your sun is in Pisces.
I know. That's what's been interesting in my life. And I think this is helpful for audience just thinking about like, you know, the North Node and
It's not talked about enough.
yeah, I agree.
It's so important.
Because for me, you know, so I'm Pisces Sun, Virgo rising, North Node Pisces, so Virgo South Node. So a lot of my work in my life is to become the person of the Pisces,
Yeah.
which is my sun.
Yeah.
And a lot of the way I've been operating in my life is as the Virgo in my business and just
Yeah,
that
yeah.
perfectionist, like how I look, or, you know, organization,
hard to kick
presenting, and
that.
it's so hard. And so I really am in this next phase, stepping more into like the mystic, stepping more into like the deeper aspects of who I am in my psyche. Because I think a lot of the way I've been operating is like, there's kind of not like in a Gemini way, but there's like two sides. You get like the presenting front of the Virgo, and then there's this very deep mystical aspect of
Yeah.
me, my Pisces. And so in my next phase of business, I really want to step more into that. But yeah, it's so funny because when you think about that, you're like, what does that even mean? You're like, what do you do with that? You know, like, so
Yeah.
when you think about North Nodes, what is important for people to know about them when they're looking at their chart?
I think you have to look at the South Node and what sign it's in. And those are the traits that you need to release. So for you,
Yeah.
your South Node's in Virgo. So you need to release like the perfectionist, overthinking, overanalyzing, like analysis paralysis. By the way, I'm a Virgo sun. So like I'm calling
All
myself
my girls
out
are
too.
Virgos, I swear.
Right?
Everyone in
Well,
my life's a Virgo.
yeah, Virgo and Pisces go so well together. And you're meant to move more towards Pisces traits, which is like oneness, feeling more than thinking, intuition over rational thought. Also, like Pisces is very mystical. It's very musical. It's very artistic. So embracing more of those traits is how you kind of connect more with your destiny. So I think that would be like, if you're like a total newbie and you're looking at your chart and you're like, how do I connect? Like that would be like the quickest way. And then also looking at the houses that it's in is going to really help you, but that's a little bit like more advanced, right?
Lately, I've been craving more simplicity, not just in my life, but in my nutrition too. It's really easy to feel disconnected when your cabinet is full of random powders and supplements and you're constantly questioning the labels. But that's why I really love Kachava. It helps me simplify and feel more nourished without overthinking it. It's an all-in-one plant-based nutrition shake made with really high-quality ingredients. There's no fillers, no artificial flavors or sweeteners, and it actually tastes amazing. Just 2 scoops will give you 25 grams of protein, fiber, greens, adaptogens, and nutrients that support energy, digestion, strength, and focus. 25 grams of protein is no joke. So I usually blend mine with like a frozen banana, and I'll add like a nut milk. I'll, just add kind of my go-to favorite, like different fruits and stuff, but I can keep it simple and it still tastes amazing. Like the other day, I mixed the mint chocolate flavor shake with a nut milk and ice, and I just shook it up, and it was chef's kiss. It's just rich. It tastes so good. It doesn't taste fake like other powders. They've done it right. So rewild your nutrition at kachava.com and use code almost30. New customers get $20 off an order of 2 bags or more now through the 31st. That's Kachava, KACHAVA.com. The code is almost30. Revolve is honestly my go-to for everything. I'm wearing all Revolve today. We can go through it in a minute. Everyday outfits, date nights, weddings, even those I want to feel more put together days, I go to Revolve. Now that 2026 is officially here, I've been doing a little wardrobe reset, and Revolve makes it super easy. I love their curated edits and the recommended for you section. It actually helps me find pieces that fit my vibe without endless scrolling. I don't like to be on there forever. And I've been loving brands like Lovers and Friends, A. Goldie, and Amanda Uprichard lately, and everything just feels like very high quality and effortless. I'm obsessed. So between inclusive sizing, new arrivals daily, and fast 2-day shipping, it's the best. With easy returns, it's truly a no-brainer. Whether it's a weekend away, a big night out, or just a much-needed wardrobe refresh, your dream wardrobe is just one click away. I hope you're watching on YouTube. You will see my full Revolve look. The theme is brown. We have an incredible sweater, these swishy pants, and some Nike. These are Dunks? They're cool, right? They're brown. I love them. Head to revolve.com/A30pod, shop my edit, and take 15% off your first order with code A30POD, A30pod. Fast 2-day shipping, easy returns, the easiest of all time. It's literally the only place you need to shop from. That's revolve.com/A30pod to shop our favorites and get 15% off your first order with code A30pod. Offer available for a limited time, so happy shopping.
When you think, that's a great point about the South Node. So it's like, so is the South Node specifically things you need to release? Like, because when I also think about Virgo South Node, there are really beautiful aspects to Virgo. So like, tell me about the balance of like the good parts that you release and the bad parts, if you'll say.
So your South Node is your karma and your past lives. So it's like, this is what you've already mastered. So you feel very comfortable in Virgo land, basically. So like you are comfortable like being the perfectionist and everything is put together, everything is organized, like overthinking everything. Let me just like get to where I want to go by thinking about it, which is never how we get to where we want to go, by the way. So again, that but there are beautiful traits of the Virgo, but you're already embodying those, right? Like, again, there's a shadow side to being a perfectionist, but there's also a little bit of a light side of like people who tend to be perfectionists. I think there's a better word for it. It's like you have a drive to like propel yourself somewhere, like you care about the details, and that's like the positive, right? You already have that living within you. So you kind of don't have to think too hard about it. You're like, cool, I embody Virgo for better or for worse, but you need to let go of the like shadowy traits, the like worst traits of the Virgo, and embody like what the highest ideal of Pisces looks and feels like. Right? Because each sign has a light and a shadow. So you're embracing more of that, right? And like Pisces is very much about oneness and unity. And again, like your destiny, if you have a North Node in Pisces, is tied to mysticism. Like it's no matter how you try and fight it, like you have to go more in that realm. And I actually have noticed I think we talked about this actually, that you've transitioned more into like talking about God and like talking about your own spiritual journey. And that's totally in alignment with North Node and Pisces.
I think the part that like, I think you should let it out.
Kitty cat.
I know the part that I get, yeah, I guess maybe it's like self-censorship sometimes. I think there is a part of
Because you
me.
want to be perfect.
Yeah, that's so true. That is, it's like, how
So
is that holding
badly.
you back? I know. It's
Yeah.
so, I'm like, okay, if I talk about God, but I have to do it like in a really cool outfit and I have to look like really amazing. When people can look at their charts, I always love to like ask this question because I think there's so many different ways that astrologers look. What is like an aspect of when people are looking at their charts that you really love to bring in? Like,
Chiron.
cool. What would you say about that?
Chiron and the nodes, I think, are not talked about enough. Yeah. Chiron is the wounded healer. So that's like our deepest, deepest, deepest core wounding that originated in childhood. And it's something that we like carry with us throughout our lives. And it's something that is going to be like your biggest trigger, right? And I think when we can work on healing that, a lot of the times when you work on wherever your Chiron wound is, you become a teacher, a healer, and a guide in that area. So like if you have like Chiron in your third house, that's wounding in communication, and you work on that, a lot of those people like end up being like teachers or people who like talk about, oh, here's the best way to communicate. Here's like what I've learned from my own, I don't know, issues that I've experienced, right? So I think that is so crucial to know.
Wow. I think my Chiron's in Gemini.
Wait, isn't your Chiron?
You guys,
oh,
this
I thought
is-
your Chiron was in Cancer.
This is so me coded. Where like I'm so
yeah.
like it's like you think that I know
Krista-
things. Like I'm like so. There's a part of me that like whenever you talk to me, you're like, wow, she knows what she's talking about,
Yeah.
and then I really don't. Okay, so Chiron and Gemini in the 10th.
Whoa. Okay. Interesting. Oh my God, this makes so much sense, right? Gemini is the communicator, right?
Yes.
And then the 10th house is your career, your legacy, like your public facing self. It's also the divine masculine because it's the Capricorn house, right? So this makes sense that like your wounding is in Gemini connected to your career. And here you are being so vulnerable, so open, sharing. Like, I mean, you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so, you know, but in your childhood, you felt like you couldn't communicate, like you couldn't speak up, like it wasn't safe for you to communicate. And now the way that you're healing that is, again, through the lens of the 10th house, which is like you are communicating your truth, and you're doing it publicly, which is healing you deeply, and you're inspiring others to do the same.
Yeah.
And I also think, again, like we've only hung out like twice, like, and it was like a group setting, but from what you've shared with me, it sounds like as the years have gone by and you've like embodied more of like who you really are, like you've been sharing a lot more vulnerably than maybe you were in the beginning, and just being like very transparent. And again, it's actually not easy for you to share, and people probably look at you and think it's like so effortless, but that is your core wounding. And it might even show up within masculine dynamics too. Like maybe when you've had boyfriends, you like specifically feel like you can't speak your truth as much as like maybe your girlfriends.
Very true.
That's that Chiron coming through the 10th house lens.
Wow. Yeah, because it is interesting with sharing vulnerably, because it wasn't my ability. You know, I couldn't do that when I was younger, and it's almost like because when it's a microphone and when it's like out into the ether, it's easy. But if it's in kind of relationship, it was harder previously, and it was a lot harder with men for me to share. Like I had the thought, no one cares. Like, what is this? You know, what's the point? Like kind of thing. Those like voices would come in, which, you know, was like super harmful. But I really love that idea so using the Chiron. And then what was the second thing you think people should use?
The nodes. The south node and the north node. Because ultimately, like, yeah, your sun sign is your identity and your ego, but you are meant to, your destiny as according to the astrology chart is to move into whatever sign your north node is in. Also, for anyone who's really into Kabbalah, Tikkun, which is like our soul's correction in this lifetime, is understood through the north node and the south node. That's like very essential, right? So like your Tikkun is in Pisces, which is also interesting because it's your sun sign. And there's like a lot to say about that too. But like I was saying before we started filming, I was like, we could spend like the next like 2 to 3 hours just talking about your chart, basically.
I mean,
we can.
You know what's funny is whenever this
Who's
happens,
interested?
there's always like a part of me that's like, well, there's literally this voice that I'm really working with. And then I want to talk about numerology. That is like, that's such a part of me that every time someone says something like, oh, there's so much going on for you, I'm like, well, where is it?
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, you're so, like, I had a friend the other day, she was like, wow, you in dating, she's like, watching you move through dating stuff is so inspiring. Like, I wish people could see. And I'm like, yeah, well, where are they? You know, like, it's not like taking the compliment of like, yeah, there's something really good happening in your life. There's so
Yeah.
much, like, and taking it and being like, oh my God, yeah, there's a lot of good coming. There's still the voice in me that's like, denies stuff.
Well, I think that's very much the Virgo too,
Yeah.
because Virgos are also like very impatient. It's like, okay,
Yes.
let's get to it. Like,
Yes.
okay, where's my husband? Like, I'm
Yes.
ready, you
Yes.
know? And you
Yes.
have to move into like moving into Pisces is trusting.
Yeah.
It's like literally surrendering and letting go. Where Virgo is like, I'm gonna make my dreams happen through sheer force
Yeah,
and
true.
will. And it's
Yes.
so intense. But like literally, anytime you do that, it won't work. The more
Yes.
you just relax and lean into things, they'll come to you.
Yeah.
And again, that's like gonna be the hardest thing for you having your North Node in Pisces, where other people that don't have that placement, it's like, what? It's not hard. Just let go. And you're like, I can't.
Yeah, literally. I'm like,
Because it's your soul's correction.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot better with it. But wow, you know, when I met you through Mark Groves, it was like
Love Mark.
love
What up, Mark?
Mark's. What up, Mark? It's so interesting because I'm so in this work, but I also kind of hold everything really lightly. Like I kind of dabble. I
Yeah.
know a lot about a little, but a little about a lot. And so when I heard about the numerology, I actually have done things before, but I didn't really understand it. I don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear like what actually is numerology? Why is it important? Like why is it something that maybe people are overlooking?
Mm. So, numerology is an ancient branch of esoteric wisdom. It's similar to astrology in that it like tells us who we are, why we're here, where we're going, what we're doing, our karma, all of the things. Except instead of looking to the cosmos and the stars to kind of tell us that information, numerology uses the power of numbers. And I genuinely think that numerology is as powerful, if not a little bit more powerful than astrology, just based on the fact that we live in a numeric system. Like every single thing that operates on this planet is numerical, right? Everything can be measured through vibration and energy, and that's all mathematical equations. Everything is a pattern. Even nature echoes this. It's all just patterns. And that's what numbers and numerology are. It like shows us our patterns. It literally is our cosmic code.
Hmm. So then when we think about like, so I don't know if that's because it's so binary or whatever, like why do you feel like it's like, do you feel like it's as popular as astrology? Like why hasn't it popped in that same way?
You know what? I've thought a lot about this, and I think the reason why it's not as popular is simply because astrology is really easy, right? Like, oh, you're born, March 1st, you're a
Yeah.
Pisces. You don't really have to think beyond that, and you're always a Pisces, where numerology does require some basic math. Very elementary, but it does. And I think it really stops people. They're like, oh God, well, I don't want to have to add this up, or I don't want to have to da 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 da.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's a little bit more effort, right?
That's
And
true.
people just want to be told, like,
Mhm.
what is my sign?
That's
What is
so
my life
true.
path? Yeah.
Mhm. So with numerology then, so it's this ancient wisdom, and then how do we apply it? Like what would it be a way in which I could use numerology to understand myself or my purpose more?
Oh my goodness, there's so many ways. So, like your life path number is kind of like your sun sign in astrology. That's like the core of who you are, and that's going to tell you like what you're here to do and the challenges you're going to face. And then your life destiny number, which is based on your full legal birth name, that is going to tell you the lens through which you achieve your life path. Then
So
we
that would be
have
full legal birthday. So mine's Krista Lynn Williams. So it'd be adding up the 6, the 4, and then however many letters Williams is, like adding those up, and then that would be that.
So each letter in your name
Okay.
has a number that's associated with it,
Wow.
right? So like K is an 11.
Okay.
Actually, fun fact, if you have a K in your name, that's supposed to be like extra lucky because K is the only letter that is both intuitive and creative in numerology. Yeah, fun fact.
This whole game of spirituality, just my ego just gets bigger every conversation. I need help. Okay, so K is kind of dope looking anyways.
I know, right?
So each so people would have to search.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I have this like in my book, on my Instagram, and this is also why I created like numerology reports so that like people never have to add
Yes.
anything, which I
Yes.
sent you the numerology report because I'm like, you know what, Krista, let me just give you all your numbers.
Yes.
But so I talked about the life path and then the life destiny, which is sometimes called the life expression. And then we have the personal year cycles, which is all about tracking our patterns, tracking timing, like knowing when to launch things, knowing when to like pursue relationships. Like the personal year cycles are just like everything is like kind of accompanied in there that has to do with timing. And then we have like karmic debt numbers, which is like you might be working with a karmic debt, which is like that's a whole thing. We also have our karmic lesson numbers, which are like things we have to give a little TLC to. We have, I mean, really it's infinite how many numbers we have. And each number informs us of a specific area of our lives that can help us basically achieve like our goals and our destiny and come into harmony with who we are.
How have you used some of these numbers in your life?
Goodness. When I first found numerology and I found out I was a life path 1, Mark's a life path 1, by the way, as well, just like give context for the life path 1s out there. It like everything made sense, but I also was like scared to kind of step into it. For example, by the way, you're a life path 7. So like your destiny is very much tied to being the seeker and the philosopher and being very spiritual, because 7 is the most spiritual single digit number. But like that probably felt uncomfortable for you growing up, like stepping into being spiritual. You know, you probably came from like a background that was more analytical. And, you know, same with me, like the life path 1 is the leader and the innovator. And I remember like growing up, I was in bands all my life and I just wanted to be like the guitar player with Mystique. I didn't want to be front and center. I wanted to hide. I didn't want anyone to see me. I wanted to like write the songs and play the guitar and never sing. And it was like, even when I was just in bands, like people would come up after and be like, oh my God, you were so good, and not talk to the singer as much. Or like I'd be in group projects at school and everyone's like, Kaitlyn, you go, you be the leader. I'm like, why? Like there were always these situations I found myself in where people were trying to make me the leader and I didn't want to be. And I was like, what is it about like my energy that's like, I don't want this. Like, I just want to hide. You know what I mean? And when I found out I was life path 1, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I need to go all in. I need to try. Like, I need to just like try this on, like I'm trying on a sweater and like, okay, instead of people like pushing me to like lead or be in the spotlight, I'm just going to like claim it. And the more I started doing that, the more things in my life got way easier. Like I cannot even tell you how much better they got. Like it just felt like such an effortless flow, even though it still scares the shit out of me sometimes, because again, your life path number isn't something you just like come out the womb totally embodying, I'm ready to go. It's like, these are your talents and you have to like claim it and embrace it. You know, I'm sure again, like you felt the same way where it's like, okay, I gotta be the philosopher. And like, actually part of the life path 7 is coming up with your own like theories on life and why we're here and sharing it. But there's probably this voice in you that's always kind of like, but who am I to share this? Who am I to do this? Why would anyone care? Right. And it's like, you kind of have to like counterbalance that and like step into your life path. But when you do share about your spirituality, I'm sure like that's when like the real magic happens.
If you've ever felt like the world is designed to keep you distracted, disconnected, or honestly kind of asleep, this is for you. On Gaia.com, you get access to over 8,000 ad-free series, documentaries, and classes, plus a global community of people who are actually interested in expanding consciousness and questioning reality. I am obsessed with Gaia. One of my favorites is the Gaia original series, Mystery Teachings with Sarah Eckeldy. She cuts through the spiritual fluff and gets straight into the real mechanics of consciousness, how thought, frequency, and awareness actually shape our lived experience. This isn't love and light shortcuts. It's deep, it's grounded, it's just really incredible work that you'll probably want to watch more than once, because it doesn't just inform, it activates something deeper. If you're ready to question consensus reality and reclaim your inner authority, watch Sarah Eckeldy exclusively on Gaia, a completely ad-free, member-supported streaming platform dedicated to expanding consciousness. I read something recently that completely reframed how I think about aging, and it has nothing to do with wrinkles or energy levels on the surface. Scientists just identified the first nutritional deficiency in 75 years. It's called cellular fragility syndrome. It's caused by low levels of an essential fatty acid called C15. And it turns out that this one nutrient plays a huge role in keeping our cells strong and resilient. When C15 levels drop, our cells become fragile. They produce less energy, break down faster, and that can quietly show up as poor sleep, fatigue, and feeling like your body just isn't bouncing back the way it used to. That's why I've been paying attention to Fatty 15. It's a science-backed vegan supplement made with pure C15, and studies show it has broader cellular benefits than omega-3s. It supports long-term metabolic, liver, and heart health by actually helping repair and protect your cells. I've been taking it for about, I would say, almost a year now, and it's been incredible. I've noticed not only a difference in my skin health, I am getting older and I just feel like I am slowing the process just a little bit. I've noticed a big difference in my energy and just my bounce back rate. It's been great. Fatty 15 is on a mission to replenish your C15 levels and restore your long-term health. You can get 15% off their 90-day starter kit at fatty15.com/almost30 and use the code almost30 at checkout. Again, that's fatty15.com/almost30. The code is almost30 and you'll get 15% off their 90-day starter kit.
I know when we were talking today too, you were talking about a rock bottom moment too, where you just shifted everything using numerology. What was that?
Oh my God. Are you talking about when I was homeless?
Yeah.
So I had a company with my ex. Oh my God, wait. I went to one of you and Krista's events back then when I was running this company. It was a clothing company.
We're at Sage Wellness, maybe?
Maybe. I remember Sophie Jaffe was there.
Yeah, Sage Wellness, yeah.
I think Milana was there.
Yeah, Milana, yeah.
Whoa, I totally forgot
I was
about
at
that
Sage
moment.
Wellness, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we were doing events every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Anyways, blast from the past.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a company and it was just like, the relationship was not the right fit, I'll say. And I was really scared to leave because I was like, our money is tied together. Like we run this company together and I love this company, but like, how do I separate all this? Anyways, long story short, I did leave and I was completely broke and homeless. And there was like a lot of issues with like, breaking the company down and dissolving it. And I wound up in this space of like literally being like homeless and completely broke. I mean, like broke. It was really intense. And I remember like I'd been really passionate about numerology and I hadn't like fully embraced it. It was like my fun thing that I would do like on the side. Like, ooh, I just like study numerology for fun. I'll like go to parties and tell people like their numbers. And while I was in this rock bottom and I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I built this whole life with this man who I thought I was going to marry, this company that I thought was going to be around for the foreseeable future, at least. And suddenly I'm like, whoa, what am I doing with my life? I didn't know where to look to. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to follow my numbers because I really don't know what else to do. So that was when I started really going towards like being that life path one and that life destiny one. And then also following my personal year cycles to a T, like religiously. I'm like very much an advocate for the personal year cycles because of any system I've studied, and I've studied human design, astrology, numerology, the Maya and the 52 card deck, the numerology timing is like, it's never wrong, ever. So I use these 3 numbers and within a year, I had this like booming business, like totally word of mouth. I had no social media. I had a generic email. Like people just started coming to me. They're like, oh my God, like numerology, when you read my numbers at this party, changed my life. I want to recommend you to people. Like, can they hire you? I'm like, sure. Mm-hmm. And then through this word of mouth business, Penguin Random House found me, offered me a book deal. And I'm like, cool. Wasn't trying to write a book, but I like a new challenge. And I remember when they came to me, I was like, no one is going to read this. Like this was 2019. So I was like, no one is going to read a book about numerology. Nobody knows what this is, but okay, I'll write this book. And then it just like blew up and like became a bestseller. And I was like on, This Morning, which is like the equivalent, like kind of like the Today Show here, talking about numerology and like, it was wild. And like, I wasn't even trying. I just was like following my passion and following my numbers and everything just clicked.
So it's life path number.
Yes. Life destiny.
Life destiny.
Which is sometimes called the life expression number, and then personal year cycles.
So what's the personal year cycles?
So personal year cycles are based on your birthday. And essentially they tell us like what is the theme of our year and where to focus our energies and intention. So we also have the year cycle, and then we have the month cycles too that go alongside it. So think about it like main character energy and supporting character energy. So it's like, the personal year cycle is like Ben Affleck, and like Matt Damon's the monthly cycle. I don't actually know who would be supporting and main character here, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, if you're in your personal year 6, that's nicknamed the marriage or divorce year. So this is like the biggest year for love. And if you are calling in partnership, like that is the year to do it. And then we have these month cycles. So like, let's say you're a personal year 6, the love year, and you're in a month 9. Well, 9 is the number of endings. So in that month, there might be some kind of ending, like maybe the ending of you being single, maybe the ending of a relationship that you're in, right? So it's important that we are tracking not just the year, but also the months alongside.
Wow. And we can figure that out how?
Through your birthday.
Okay.
So you would just take, like, let's say you're, January 1st, 1 + 1, which is 2, and then you add it to the current year. So 2025, when you add 2 + 0 + 2 + 5 = 9.
Okay, cool.
So then you would do, like, if you're January 1st, it'd be 1 + 1 + 9.
Okay.
So that would be a 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. I think that is why people stop, because they have to do the math.
Yeah. The moment I start talking about math, people just tune out. But I swear it is so
Why is that?
simple, because I don't know, maybe because school sucked growing up and like
Yeah,
people
like-
didn't like being in math class. Also, I think for me, like when someone is talking numbers, I'm just like, wait, what? But when you write it down and you see
Yes.
it, it's so easy.
Yes. But I think it's also too, a lot of our life, we're in receptive mode of things. We're like processing input information, and we're not having to like externally
Yeah.
think. It's like I respond to emails, I respond to this thing, I respond to this, I respond to life, rather than like being in engagement with life and trying to figure it
Yeah.
out from like a numerology perspective. What is the 52 cards?
Oh my God, we talked about this because
I
you're an
know.
ace of spades.
I know, obviously.
I mean, wait, do you know what it is to be an ace of spades?
I know it's so dope.
I don't remember what your
That's
PRC
literally
is.
so
Dude,
sick.
I like only attract ace of spades into my life because King of Clubs, which is my card, is the most compatible with ace of spades.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm like constantly running into ace of spades. Remember when I met you, I was like, do you have a lot of friends born September 11th?
Oh, yes. All of my friends are.
Because they're King of Clubs.
No way. All of my friends are
Yes.
September 11th through the 14th.
Well, and the 14th is a 10 of clubs, which is the same as Mark. So Mark and Lindsay are both a 10 of clubs.
Oh, and Lindsay's 10 of clubs.
That's
like,
what I'm
obviously,
saying.
yeah. That's like,
Yeah.
I've had my 3 best friends from growing up, 3 best friends as I've gotten older. Like everybody I know is like that week in September.
Yeah.
So it's a 52 card deck. So it's basically,
Yeah.
how is it determined? Like, how can someone determine which card that they are?
So it predates tarot, and it was like used a lot in Egypt. And basically, like every single day in the year is assigned a card. And again, there are like 10 days in the year that can be like an ace of spades. 10 days that could be this. And like some of them are a lot rarer. So like there's only one day that's a king of spades, which is like the highest suit. And essentially it's kind of like a mashup of astrology and numerology, but like through the lens of cards. And honestly, the best way you can find this out is to like literally Google, like, I'm March 3rd.
Yeah.
What is my card? There are also these, there are a couple books on it too.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
almost like it's like an archetypal energy represented in the cards
Yeah.
that like
There's also
represent your thing.
timing,
Really?
which is really fun to do. Yeah, there's also timing, but it also like kind of speaks to the traits that you are. Like Ace of Spades is like really intuitive. It's the Magi card. It's like associated with like
love it.
secret societies and things like that.
You know what's so weird is like hearing all this stuff. Like whenever I hear stuff, I'm like, I'm very deeply mystical and spiritual, but I'm like, I'm not that much. Like I'm even
Yeah.
like thinking to myself, I'm like, maybe I could be more, but I'm like,
But you're also young.
that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, okay,
I'm gonna be a wizard.
yeah, if I met you at like 20 and I was like, hey, you're really meant to be more mystical and spiritual, you'd probably
Yeah.
be like, fuck off. Like, I
Yeah.
just want to go out drinking with my friends. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
yeah.
like, I
At that
think,
time, I'd be like, I want to do that. I need help.
yeah, but I'm sure that there were times growing up where like you had some sort of like gut feeling or
True.
intuition where it's like,
True.
you're like, I don't know how I always knew that like that would happen, but I
True.
always knew this. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I think it's more of that. And also, I just want to say, because sometimes when I talk about all the systems, people get really confused. I think that all these systems are saying the same things, but in their own unique way. Like your human design, numerology, astrology, 52 card deck, all of it is saying the same story of Krista.
That's so true.
It's just doing it in a different way. Like, I love using human design to understand like the way my energy is meant to move in the world. I'm a manifester, right? So like my energetic strategy is completely different than a projector or a generator. But it's also very much in alignment with like a manifester being like a life path 1, being a king of clubs. Like all of that is totally congruent. So I also want to say, if people are like, oh
That's
my
so
God,
true.
all these systems, it's like, no, it's all just different lenses for the same thing.
How would you say people can use numerology for their relationships?
Well, I would say when it comes to relationships, okay, first off, I just want to say that I believe anybody can be with anybody. Like, I don't like when people are like, oh my God,
Yeah, like
you're a,
can't be with a Gemini.
right? It's
Yeah.
like like, first off, we have to take into consideration like the full picture. But I also think anyone can be with anyone. It's just like how much work have you done on yourself?
That's a good one.
How
How integrated are you?
exactly. How
Yeah.
integrated are you? Like, I love like the Kabbalistic view of astrology, for example, is like your astrology chart's your blueprint, but by the end of your life, you should be able to like look at it and be like, that I don't even know who this person is.
Yeah.
Like, you should be so integrated. You should always be like working through your stuff. So I just want to say, like, I think anyone could be with anyone. I also think as powerful as these tools are, and they will change your life when you work with them, we still do have some free will and karma. I think that's important. Like, maybe you shouldn't be with a Gemini, but maybe you were meant to be with a Gemini for a little bit. Maybe that was like the biggest lesson your soul needed.
I don't have any trends with the men and their signs,
Wow, interesting.
except Aries. I like Aries.
Yeah, well, we were just talking about that. Someone was here and we're like, you look like an Aries.
Yeah, I know. I was like, he does look like an Aries. I was
Um,
like, that's a nice Aries man.
yeah, but I will say when it comes to compatibility within numerology, it's really important to look at like the life path and life destiny numbers. And also the year cycles can be fun to look at. And also the soul urge number, which we were texting about before. Like the soul urge number, which is sometimes called the heart's destiny number, speaks to like our deepest, deepest, deepest desires. Sometimes we don't even know like we have these desires. They're like so deeply buried within us. And that kind of tells you like what your soul wants to call in, not just like your purpose, which is like your life path. So
Wow. What's yours? Soul urge number.
mine is an 8.
What does that say about
which
you?
is like success and
Oh, that one,
money and like being the powerhouse. But I just had a reading with a client and she actually was a life path 8, which is like money and power, like I said. And then her destiny was a 1, which is like really strong, like leadership, masculine energy. And she's like, she's very successful, but her soul's desire, her heart's desire, soul urge number is 6, which is like nurturing,
Motherhood.
softness,
Wow.
mother.
Wow.
And she's just like, I don't get it. I keep achieving and I'm like, don't feel fulfilled. And I was like, well, girl, like your soul urge number is a 6. There is a part of you that needs to feel nurtured, that wants to nurture, like maybe tap into that. So I think it's really important to look at those numbers. I also think in regards to like the life path number, that's like your frequency, right? So like you're a life path 7, that's your vibe.
Yeah.
So when you meet other life path 7s, you just hit it off right away. It's just like comfortable, it's easy. And there are numbers that are more compatible with each other. But I will say the numbers that I wouldn't consider compatible still could be if you learn how to use your traits to work together. Like I had a reading once with a woman, she was life path 1, which is like leadership, innovation, like here to break the rules, do it her way. And her husband was a life path 4, which is the antithesis of that. Like the 4 is like slow builder energy, very methodical. It's very like rules are there for a reason
My nightmare.
and we need to follow them.
My nightmare.
Right? So like they kept butting heads and I'm like, look, these aren't like the most quote unquote compatible numbers, but if you can trust that the woman is going to like come up with the vision and be the leader in the relationship. And then you as the man can support her in building and guide it. Like she is the storm and she's kind of all over the place. That's like a life path 1. But the 4 is really good at like grounding the vision in a way where it like gets built. That's the strength. I'm like, if you guys can play to each other's strengths and realize like, he shouldn't be the one that's like doing the 1 traits and you shouldn't be doing anything 4 related. Like, it actually makes things a lot more harmonious. And I've even used the life path number in my own relationships, and it like helps you accept people a little more.
Yes.
You know, like for example, you're a 7. So 7s are like actually really internal. They need a lot of alone time, right? Like, but I can imagine maybe you've had friends who are really close to you and they're like, Krista, why don't we hang out more? And you're like, it's not you, it's me. Like, I just need to be in my own space for like at least 50% of the time, at least, you know? And it's like, if people know that about you, it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can look at people through this language, and it actually helps you accept them more. You're like, oh, that's how they're made.
Yeah. I
And
think
that's actually
the
their
best part of
strength.
the tools is knowing it's like helping you know yourself to accept yourself more, helping you know others to accept them more. The
Yeah.
soul urge number is so fascinating to me. And because I think there are so many people that have a lot or are doing a lot that are, you know, satisfied in some areas of their life, but being able to see sort of what's in the subconscious desire and the subconscious belief is so interesting.
So
Do you have
powerful.
any more examples of other clients that you like discovered their soul urge and it made clarity? Because I just find that really fascinating.
Yeah. Okay. So I did actually read for a life path 4. Again, 4 is the builder. They're like, follow the rules, do things methodically. Typically, 4s will like, they don't move around a lot. Like they kind of stay in one place, and they're meant to build something that really helps humanity. Now, again, when I say like it's the builder energy, like Oprah's a 4. Okay. So like this isn't like, you know, small energy. It's just
Yeah.
that's how they're made. They're builders. And I was reading for her, and her soul urge number was a 5. 5 is completely different. Like 5 is change and travel and free spirited. Like the 5 is not meant to stay in a 9 to 5. It's not meant to stay in the same place. It's like meant to experience as much as possible. And my client was feeling like super out of alignment, but she had built something really powerful for herself, and she owned a beautiful home, and like she'd been living in this home for like 20 years. Like she had the same friends, like again, very 4 energy. Um, but I told her, I was like, look, like you're not meant to like be a 5, but like the 5, like your soul wants to feel free. And again, the 5 is really associated with travel. I was like, maybe you just need to start traveling more. And she kind of had some fears around that because again, she's like a 4. She likes her home. She likes being in one place. And I was like, just try. And she started traveling, and she's like, this is literally all that was missing from my life. Like, she's like, I didn't realize how important travel was because she had never traveled. She had just spent most of her life just like building
Building.
her business and like building her family and building her home, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what my soul urge number is. Do you remember?
No, well, I sent you the numerology report.
Yeah.
So it's somewhere in there. I do remember that yours 16-7 as your life path. Remember I was talking about karmic debts?
Oh, yes. What about it? Say more. I
Okay.
need to be refreshed.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't go too deep in the voice note, and I was like, I don't know if you want me to talk about this, but so there.
So don't talk about it on voice note. Talk about it publicly.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, please
Yeah.
do. You can.
Okay. So in numerology, there are 4 karmic debt numbers,
Okay.
and there's no way to
My
calculate
heart's
them.
desire is a 9.
The humanitarian. That makes so much sense.
What is that?
Well, the humanitarian energy, like there's a part of you that like really wants to like make the world a kinder, more gentle place. And also, um, there's some sort of like cause that's like near and dear to your heart that you're meant to like devote a portion of your life to.
Animals.
There you go.
You know what's
I mean,
interesting
there's
is
literally a
I
cat
was
right
actually
here.
talking to a friend on voice note. I was voice noting with my friend Jenna, and we were voice noting about stuff. And I was like, we were just kind of like bored of things and just kind of over stuff. And my first thought was like soul urge. I was like, you know, whenever I think like that, I need to like volunteer. Like I need to
Yeah.
get out of my, like, it's like, how can I serve? How can I do something that's, I live in service in my work, but there's a deeper level of service with how I'm living that is available for me that is outside of, I get so much from the way that I serve. There's a way of serving that I think I want to do more with like a charity or a group or I don't know.
Yeah. That's literally your
Yeah.
soul urge number. And also just to give you reference, like prominent life path 9s were like Gandhi and Mother Teresa. So it's
It's
like
too much for me, you guys.
It's
I'm not
very
you guys about to blow
humanitarian.
up out of the room.
Priyanka Chopra's a life path 9.
Really?
She does a lot of charity work. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, oh, okay, not because I'm like them because they did charity. Got it.
No,
I need
I'm
help.
just trying to give you like context. So like when I
Yes.
say like, oh, 9 is a humanitarian energy, I'm like, oh, here's like an embodiment of it.
Yes.
Right? Like, so for example, life path 7, Bruce Lee,
Wow.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Dave Chappelle, They're usually very private people, but also like as open and public as you might be, there's probably like a part of you that's like, no, this is always going to be private.
Oh, for sure.
That's very 7.
Very, very private. Yeah, it's interesting actually. What in the 48 Laws of Power they talk about, one of the 48 Laws of Power is sharing enough with people so they feel close to you, but not sharing really a lot at all.
Yeah.
And I think some of the greatest creators on the internet do that really well. Like Emma Chamberlain is an example.
Yeah.
You actually don't know really anything about her, but yet you feel really close to her because she'll be talking about like her anxiety or like.
I wonder if she's a 7.
Maybe. Like
look her up.
there's a lot of really powerful public figures that are like that. So if you were someone that was like new to astrology, to the cards, to all of this, what would be the things you suggest that they first dig into to really understand themselves?
So I base everything, like my foundation of all these tools is through numerology. Just because once you understand like patterns and math and things like that to some extent, it just like opens you up in a totally new way. I've actually noticed like since working with numerology, it's almost like that scene in The Matrix where
I think of the Matrix all the time when I think of numerology.
yeah,
That's
where
all I
like
think of.
Neo sees the codes and he's like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's funny because like I thought like maybe I was the only one. I'm like, am I going crazy? Like I feel like I'm having an awakening from just like staring at numbers and like working with my numerology all the time and reading for clients. But then literally like almost every student I have in my like numerology course has come to me and said the same thing. They're like, I don't know what it is, but the moment I started like really studying numerology, like everything opened up. And I mean, it's the universal language, right? It's like the one thing we're all agreeing on numbers, the numerical system. Like math is like just true. You know what I mean? There's no like different way to interpret it. It's very much like, again, like the more you work with it, the more you kind of awaken. So I see everything through kind of that lens. And then from there, I kind of pull from different tools that are going to like help support me. So again, like human design is going to teach me like, if you should know your human design type. I think that is like crucial. But I don't think like you have to know every gate and like channel and like what's defined and undefined. Yes, it's important. And I love human design so much, but it's like, let's just take the essentials that are really going to like support us.
And just leave the rest.
Yeah.
What would you say so when we're talking about numerology, is there any like esoteric knowledge or wisdom where it's like kind of explains how the universe is built on numbers? Like, how did that come to be? I just think about that, like with the Matrix, or like how everything is based on numbers. And it's something that I think we can think of conceptually, but is hard to like wrap our brains around.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, everything is energy, and energy is measured through mathematics.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. So like when we talk about energy, there is a frequency it's vibrating at. Music is a really good example. Like different, like I'm sure you listen to different like healing frequencies and things like that, and you'll feel it. And then you can also see like they're now starting to experiment with different sounds being able to heal different illnesses. And like that's actually science. That's not even woo-woo or anything.
Yeah, so real.
And again, it's the same thing with math and numerology when we're like saying, oh, Krista, you're life path 7. That's like your measured frequency. So that's kind of where numerology comes from. And again, like even with astrology, we're measuring the planets as well. Like that's math.
Yeah.
Everything comes back to that system.
Yeah.
Even music itself is math.
Yeah. With Kabbalah, you mentioned Kabbalah a few times. I love Kabbalah. What have you been studying recently that you're really loving? Like, what do you love about Kabbalah?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start with that. It's funny because a lot of my friends are like, why don't you talk about Kabbalah more? Because it's like such a big part of my life. But there are just so many people out there that have like devoted like 30 years to it that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should talk about it. But I mean, the thing about Kabbalah is like, I've studied so much. Like I've traveled around the world. Like I am like a certified sound healer. I studied with like a gong master and I thought I was going to do that for a while. And then I went to Japan and became a Reiki master. I thought, oh, I'll do Reiki and energy healing. I've like studied with different shamans. I've like read the Buddhist books and the Tao and all the things, right? But nothing was like, when I found Kabbalah, it's just like, oh, everything makes sense.
I agree.
This is exactly, like, we don't need anything else. Like, without Kabbalah, what are we doing? What are we doing? And actually, Kabbalah does use numerology, astrology, which is nice. It's like, oh, yeah, these are, again, tools. But again, it's the lens through which you see the world. It makes everything make sense. I'm studying like more advanced things right now that are like, I'm even struggling to like grasp them. I'm like in a like advanced Kabbalah course at the moment. And I'm just like, whoa, I'm having to like re-listen to things like multiple times. But the more like fundamental Kabbalistic principles of like, you know, being like the creator, building your vessel, being the light, Satan, bread of shame. Bread of shame changed my fucking
What's bread of
life.
shame?
Oh my God, really?
We'll just explain to
Oh,
the
okay. I was like,
audience.
no way, girl.
Yeah.
Bread of shame. So essentially, like, we came here to earn the light. Like, we didn't want to be like, originally, we were with the creator and we were just receiving. And then we felt like, oh, we wanted to actually earn it and be like the creator. Um, and so here we are earning light. And sorry, I'm getting a little nervous because I never talk about Kabbalah.
You're
Yeah,
crushing.
I'm like, we're gonna have to cut this.
Oh my God, stop.
But okay, so the bread of shame is when basically you're giving to someone and they haven't built their vessel to earn what you're giving them.
Yep.
So this shows up a lot in relationships where like,
Women will do this a lot with men.
yeah, where you're over giving and giving and giving and giving to someone and you're like, I don't understand why you don't want to be with me, but actually you're repelling them
Yep.
because their soul doesn't feel that they've earned what you're giving to them. So here you are giving, like, if I just give more, he'll love me. But actually, that in Kabbalah is considered taking it away. I'm sure when you found bread of shame, were you like, oh my God, this makes so much sense?
I think it makes so much sense around just the feminine and a lot of women in relationships now where, and I would say for myself, you know, I think a lot of me when I was more unconscious had the perception that if I just give more love, I will receive more love. Or if I give
Yeah.
more love, then they'll see. I had a pattern of going for unavailable men that were insecure. And so I was like, maybe if I give them enough love, they'll see, you know, maybe
Yeah.
but it actually makes someone respect you less and want you or like you less because they actually have so much shame in
Yeah.
themselves that they're confused why you're doing that. So they're
Yeah.
in the end, and this is where a lot of times women in dating, the men that are like lower than them will actually end up fucking them over because
Yeah.
they're confused of why someone like you is with them in the first place.
Exactly.
And so they end up like screwing you over. But I'll never forget that when I started dating, I was like, why is it that the biggest losers are fucking me over the most? Like,
Yeah.
but it's like they have such low self-worth that they're actually like feel weird that you're like talking to them.
They haven't built their vessel
Yeah.
to hold that amount of light.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Mhm.
I think it's a really powerful thing. And I started to notice it too, where it's like all these areas I was overgiving.
Yeah.
And actually, when I'm overgiving, I'm taking, you know, and it's like you don't even think, you're just like, if I just keep giving, but it's not giving. It's funny because my cousin has been like in a wonky spot with her girlfriend, and her girlfriend came to visit. And she's like, oh my God, I have to tell you everything that I did for her. And it's this like huge, like all these gifts and party. And I was like, oh no, girl. She's like, aren't I such a good girlfriend? I was like, that's not going to go well. And she's like, why? And then I tried to explain to her like bread of shame and like, you know, I think your girlfriend that might be too much for her. And like, she can't hold that light. So it might erupt, whatever. Right. And she's like, no. Literally a week later, she's like, we got in a huge fight. Like she didn't like it. And like right. And it's crazy too, because again, until you have the knowledge of Kabbalah, like you just think, it's a different way to look at it. Like she started kind of coming to my cousin being like, oh, well, you know, I'm actually really unhappy with you. But what's happening on a Kabbalistic energetic point of view is that she hasn't built the vessel to receive that level. And so now she's feeling repelled and she doesn't know why. So then it's like, and I've done that a million times, by the way. I'm just using like an example I've heard recently. I'm sure we've
Totally.
all done that.
That's like on the dating shows too. You'll see a lot of times on dating shows, like the men that are the good men get like kind of fucked over because a lot of those people are like such a lower frequency where they haven't built the vessel to receive actual love.
Yes.
So they keep going for the guy that's like fucking them over, that's like chasing them, that's like continuing to abuse them. I'm watching Love Island. You guys, I just joined the island.
Oh my God.
And
I can't even open that.
it's actually demonic. I'm actually like having a conversation with myself about this. But in the episode, there's this one guy, he keeps going back and forth between a few of the girls, and the girls just keep going back to them. And I'm like, it's like they just feel so low about themselves that they're available for, but they can't receive enough of the actual light. Like both of them can't receive enough of the
Yeah.
actual light to be together.
Yeah. I mean, and it's wild too, like when you know that concept and then you watch it in real time.
Yeah.
And actually, my most recent boyfriend, like when we were breaking up, he was like, I never feel good enough for you. I'm not good enough for you.
That's men's talk track. I swear to God,
I
every man
just,
says that. It's
no,
never enough. It's never enough. Shut up. Make it
but
enough.
it's,
Listen.
yeah, it's just like, it was so crazy too. Cause like for months he was like not feeling great about himself. And he was saying like, you know, I'm not good enough or like, it's not enough. And I just was like, in my mind, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I love you. You're amazing. Like, you're so epic. Why else would I be your girlfriend if you weren't
That's interesting.
so incredible? And we were together for like a year and a half,
Yeah.
right? And then it just got to this place where like, I'm like, you know what? You're starting to convince me now, you
Wow.
know? And it felt very bred of shame too. And then like we spoke after we broke up and he actually took like Kabbalah classes and he's like, I know I haven't built the vessel to be with you. And I was like, whoa, you know, he's like, I have to work on that. And it's just, again, like before Kabbalah, I would have been like, what more do I have to do? Why can't, you know? And then like, I'm just looking at it like making peace with it because we've all had those moments. Like I remember in my early 20s, like I was dating a famous musician and like all I wanted was to be a successful musician. So I felt so insecure around him and I was sabotaging left and right. And he was like so about me, treating me like a queen. And I couldn't receive it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so many women can relate to that. Like, I think that was for me why I went for unavailable men because I couldn't receive the love of like an available person.
Yeah.
You know, it would be like scary to me or I didn't have to earn it and, you know, had this whole dance. But yeah, I love the bread of shame. I think that's so, so powerful. What would be some of the resources and tools you would give to someone that's going through a time of transformation and change that you think could help them?
Just in general or
Yeah.
like Kabbalistically speaking?
Let's do Kabbalistic and then in general.
I mean, I feel like there's such like a Kabbalah like
World. Yeah, there is.
you know, I would say there's so many courses online that you can take. Like I remember the first course I ever took was Kabbalah 1. It's through the Kabbalah Center. It's like pay what you can.
Yeah,
It's truly life-changing.
good one.
There's so many Kabbalah podcasts now. Like I know there's like Spiritually Hungry. There's David Guillaume. He's like really out there with Kabbalah. Like he teaches it in such a profound way. There's so much. Like I would say start there though. That's
Yeah.
already like a plethora. Yeah.
I agree. I think Kabbalah 1 is a great place. So as far as like the numerology and astrology, like and the cards world, what would you say?
So if you want to dive deeper into numerology, like there's a ton of free numerology content on my Instagram that you can just like go binge. I have like a little numerology highlight. And then I also have numerology reports. So it's like done for you and
Yeah.
a numerology course, like personal year cycle planners.
Oh, the personal year cycle planner is dope.
Oh, thanks.
That's like dope.
Yeah.
I felt like mine was like, it was different than anything I've ever done.
You know what's crazy? So the personal year planners, I made these a couple years ago and I did it for myself. Like I remember I was just sitting around and I was like, I'm obsessed with tracking the year cycles because I think it's the greatest like hack for our growth.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I want it like in one place where I can like go back and reference like, oh yeah, here's my last personal year too. So I started making this planner on Canva. By the way, I'm not a designer. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I made it and it was 130 pages. And I'm like, I think a lot of people would like this. I'm going to make 8 more. So I made 9 of these. All by myself, by the way. I was crazed. It was like 2 weeks of like nonstop making these. And then I put them out there and people went crazy for them. And I was so excited because like nothing like it existed and I couldn't believe it. And now it's like to the point where like every November people are like hounding me like, where is it? Where is it? I'm like, I launch after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's coming out. But I just love it as a tool. And they come in little books. So then it's like, I can't wait till it's been 9 years so I can go back and pull out like, oh, this was my year 1 book. And then you can go and be like, what was I doing in my last year 1, month 3? And you can do this, by the way, if you just go through your emails, your photo albums, and you would be shocked by how cyclical we are.
I would love to do that.
Like, even like I did this in my year 1, month 2. I reconnected with a guy who I had not spoken to since my previous year 1, month 2. I'm like, what? He came in at the 9 years of not talking to this guy. And he just messaged me out of the blue. He's like, hey, I'm like, when was the last time like we like started? I was like, oh my God. Like you would be shocked. Or like every time I've gone through a breakup, it's in the same numbers. Every time I've like moved cities, same numbers. Like every time I've truly fallen in love, same number. Like you would be shocked. Because before numerology, I didn't think I was that cyclical or patterned. I was just like, my life is free flowing, baby.
Yeah,
I'm just all over.
Yeah, there's no method to my madness.
Right, exactly. And then when you use the personal year cycles, you're like, oh my God, the same exact, like even like I got in an argument with my mom. It was like the same month and year. It just blows my mind. Like I created these like trackers in Numerology 101 to like have people do it. Cause I'm like, this can't just be me, like other people. And people will come to me like, oh my God. But once you see your patterns, you can actually break them. You know, like for example, all my rock bottoms happen in 4s. Every time in a year 4 or a month 4, that's when I hit the bottom. Cause again, I'm a life path 1 destiny 1. So that's like the antithesis of my energy. And so I just kind of fumble a bit. And so when I know I'm coming into a 4, I can be like, okay, I'm going to do things differently this time. And I can set myself up for success. Like even when I was building my business, my book came out in a 6, which is the love year. I did fall in love that year, but it's also very magnetic for career. And then in the 7, it's all about being singular focused, like going internal spiritual awakenings, right? They all build on each other. So it's like you fall in love, you're really magnetic. Then 7, you like kind of go within, you like wake up like in a new way and you get really focused on something. And then that leads you to the 8, which is the money year. Right. And halfway through my 7, I was like, all I'm going to do is work on this online business. I'm not going to see anyone. I'm not going to talk to anyone. I'm going to create reports in this course and all these things. And halfway through my 7, I started doing that. And then I launched in my 8 because that's like money and power, literally quadrupled my income that year, transitioned from doing one-to-one readings to an online business. Wow. And it's crazy when you use the cycles that is a common story. Wow. Like, I do a lot of coaching, and my last coaching client found me because she's like, someone sent me your Instagram. It was my money year. I did what you told me to do. And now like I have the money I've always wanted. I was like, dude, it's not me, by the way. Yeah. It's like, just following the numbers and having that knowledge. Anybody can do it.
Wow. I'm so excited. I'm like, what's my money year?
We could track your year cycle. We'll track like off camera. Yeah. Because I told you, I could sit with you for like hours. There's so much to tell you.
I know. I'll keep you guys posted. Okay, where can everyone find you? What do you have going on? Like, tell us everything.
I'm most active on Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's just at Kaerhart, which is my last name. So Kaerhart. And I'm on YouTube sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was doing like a weekly forecast, and now I'm like, am I doing YouTube still? You know what I mean? Yeah. When you're like, I'm going to try it, but am I in love with, I don't know.
Yeah. I usually visit you as you have to be consistent forever.
Yeah.
You know, like, exactly. I wouldn't even know that, but it's like, it feels like one of those things.
Yeah.
And then your book.
Yeah. You can find my book. It's called You Are Cosmic Code, Essential Numerology, in a lot of places.
You can get reports.
Yeah. That's all on my website. So like Kaerhart.com, you can find all these things. Everything is linked from my Instagram as well. Yeah.
Well, this is a rare occurrence because Fuji was in, so the vibes were good.
Dude, cats are healers.
I know. They're little intuitive psychic healers. I swear. I just
love that the cat came down for me. I'm like, that is a compliment. Special. Like, I must have good vibes.
Yes, you do. Okay, guys. Well, I'm so excited. I know you guys are already into your numerology right now, getting your reports and looking it all up. So welcome to a new world. I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you so much, Kaitlyn. Again, it's Kaitlyn Kaerhart. So it's Kaitlyn Kaerhart. And you can connect with her at Kaerhart.com. So it's Kaerhart.com.
Amazing. Thank you all for listening. If you are wanting more of Almost 30, maybe a dose of Almost 30, you can listen to our clip show. It's called Morning Microdose, out 5 days a week. Just 5 to 15 minutes of the best of Almost 30. Subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok at Almost 30 Podcast. And I'm at Lindsay Simsick on Instagram.
And I'm at It's Krista. It's ITSKRISTA. And we'll see you on the next one. Mm-hmm. Bye.